What's going on, family, and welcome to another episode of Mike Toss. And again, thank y'all so much for just showing Mike Toss so much love over these last couple of weeks, as it is our purpose to sit with those that have experienced success so that we can glean from their wisdom as we're walking in to everything that the Lord has for us too. And today, I'm so excited because this is really just going to be a conversation with family. We're going to let you in on the type of conversations that we have had for at least the last 3-4 years. As when I came in contact with this woman, she has literally been a force of joy, and so much so that I think many people that come in contact with her just adopt her as their auntie, because she gives so much great perspective and wisdom, just like a good auntie would, that by the time you got done talking to your auntie, after you just got done getting in a fight with your mom, after you talk to your auntie, you're like, oh, okay, I think I need to go back and get this thing right. That's exactly how the guest is that we have on, and I'm sure you're going to feel the exact same way. Please help me welcome Auntie Pastor Pam. Pastor P, how are you?
I am excellent. I'm so happy to see you. I am
Yes,
overjoyed to
ma'am.
see you. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
You look
Thank you.
fantastic. Yes.
I definitely try to, just keep myself up and keep the weight down. Come on, praise him.
It ain't easy,
Yes.
but
Yeah. Hello.
hallelujah.
Exactly. Well, yeah, Pastor Pam, I really wanted to just dive into one of the things that you have always been known for in my life and in the lives of many others is the perspective that you give. Not only the perspective that you give, but your ability to shape leaders and help them really come into the understanding of their leadership style so that they can pursue the things that the Lord has given them in a high level and in a high way. For that reason, I just wanted to jump into our conversation with understanding why it is so important for the next generation of emerging leaders to understand what their leadership style is.
First of all, I love that question because I'm
Mhm.
super passionate about identity.
Yeah.
And I often tell people, I do a lot of executive coaching.
Mhm.
I'm 60 now, and so I get to be yes, get to be the coach,
Exactly.
right? And so I do a lot of executive coaching. And one of the things I say is God knows how to pick the right person
Mm.
for the right place and the right time. And so if you show up as someone else, you're not going to be what's needed at that place and at that time.
Mhm.
So understanding your leadership style is just that important.
Mm.
That the assignment is not just about what you're going to do. God doesn't just send the work that you do, He sends you. He sends your
Ooh,
story,
yeah.
yeah, your personality. He sends you to a place. And so,
Mhm.
so often, you've heard preachers say, Father, less of me and
Right.
more of you. And I
Right.
understand that prayer. I do understand it. No shade on it. But I
Yeah.
also feel like what we want to pray is, Lord, I'm fully cooperating. I'm yielding all of who I really am to you in
Yeah.
this moment
Yeah.
because we trust his design. So it's vitally important that you understand this is who I am, this is how I lead.
Now, in understanding that, of course, there are, and I think both of you and I have seen examples where, uh, in sometimes people's eagerness to
Yes.
become the thing that the Lord has shown them, or in another person's desire to fill a role, they say, hey, there's
Mm-hmm.
something on you. It may not be fully developed yet, it may not be fully ready, but let's go.
Yeah.
What are some of the dangers of stepping into a role without fully knowing your own identity as a leader, how you show up as a leader, and how that affects other people?
Yeah. Oh, wow. What a great question. Because there's some emotional intelligence in that question.
Yes,
Knowing
ma'am.
how you affect other people. I just asked someone, when you come into the room, what comes into the room with you? And so
Mm.
if you don't know what's coming in the room with you and what's not coming in the room with you,
Wow.
you will make assumptions about the effect that you have and the impact that you have. So
Wow.
the danger of stepping into a role without really knowing, here's what I'm passionate about. This is what's coming in the room when I'm coming in the room.
Mhm.
If you don't know your identity, you can't help but look for it.
Wow.
If you don't know your identity, you can't help but look for it.
Mhm.
And I've never seen anyone struggle in identity and not deal with rejection,
Mm.
because you're looking, you're thirsty, you're hungry for affirmation. And so rather than show up in a place to lead, you're going to show up looking to be liked. Now, don't get me wrong. I like to work with people who like me. I
Of
like to work with
course.
people who love me. I love them. We can rock together, right?
Yeah.
But if you're campaigning, you're not leading.
Wow.
If you're I tell folks, don't get the job and then campaign to get the job. You're already in the seat. Let's get the
True.
work done.
Oh man, that's so good.
Let's get the work done. So the danger of showing up and not really knowing your leadership identity is you're going to be hunting for it. Now, I'm not discounting the fact that people need to discover.
Mhm.
If you're a new leader and you are working with people, you need to be very aware of the effect you have on people. And
Mhm.
my mentor tells me you never know your impact till you get some feedback. And so
Wow.
asking your team, hey, do you feel encouraged? Do you feel focused? Do you
Mm.
feel that I'm bringing you clarity? Is there anything you need? And when you get that feedback, you start to understand, oh, people say when I'm around, they
Right.
feel this.
Right.
They feel safe, or they feel ready. They feel energized.
Mhm.
They feel confused, overwhelmed, can't do it. Like, you
Right.
don't know your impact until you get some feedback. And then you
Wow.
can make some adjustments. You can, because the lesser is blessed by the greater, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
you got to be the one to make some adjustments so that you can have the right impact on the people you're leading. But without that identity
Mm.
of knowing this is who I am, this is what's important to me.
Yeah.
If I know this is who I am, this is what I value, there's certain things in leadership role I won't do, and I won't tolerate from those I lead.
Mm.
So if the danger is like what they used to say. We know those old songs. I'd be like a ship
Hello, without a sail.
without a
Woo!
sail.
Yes, ma'am.
And then
Wow.
here's the challenge: God sends a leader when He wants to change something. And so if
Mm.
you, God sends a leader when He wants to change something, when He wants to shift something, when He wants to upgrade something, right?
Wow.
And so if you show up and you don't know who you are, here you are, you're just going to go with the flow.
We.
And Lord said, I thought I sent you to change the current. And
Yes,
you in
ma'am.
there with the,
You falling
you
right
just,
in line.
you fell right in line.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to send you to upgrade my people, to galvanize my people, focus my people, get them moving, inspire them, whatever His reason is,
Yes,
His
ma'am.
agenda for sending you there. You got to be able to carry that out and not just try to get along. You know how they say go along to get
To
along?
get along. Yes, ma'am.
Leaders don't do that.
Mm.
We don't go along to get along.
Right.
Do I
That
love
is
everybody? Yes, I do. But I'm not going to go with the flow,
right.
because I'm here to be a rudder and shift the flow.
That is so good. And I think there have been many episodes where we get on and the episode is going well, but this is definitely one of those moments. If you're watching, just go ahead, take out your phone, get your notes out, because everything she's saying is things that as an emerging generation, emerging leaders, we need to be aware of, especially when we're
Yeah.
talking about being a leader and leading other people. We've talked about some of
Mm-hmm.
those dangers. Now, Pastor Pam, I'm always looking for practical ways. How can we practically start to take the chisel to
Yeah.
start to carve out what that leadership style is for us
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
that we don't allow we had a couple episodes back and had an apostle duhart and he was
Oh,
telling us
wonderful.
that he was telling us that time and chance happen to all people, meaning
Right.
that everyone will reach a point where it is your time and it is your chance.
Mm-hmm.
How can we practically today start to identify ways that we can carve out our leadership style so that when time and chance comes for us, we're ready to take it on in confidence, in our identity, and not just going with the flow.
I love this question because it's going to cause us to visit that word perspective.
Yeah. Whoa.
When we recognize that God has always been training you for this. It's not about, well, I decided to develop myself as a leader. Oh, you mean you decided to go ahead on and agree with what God has been doing?
Oh, that's
what's
good.
happening. That's what's happening. By the time you pick up a leadership book, you tune into a leadership podcast, all you're doing is finally getting into alignment with what your maker, your creator, has had planned for you from the beginning. Think about David. He looked back. When he faced Goliath, he said, I killed a lion, right?
Yeah.
I killed a bear.
Exactly.
And this will be like that. Do you know the Lord had to remind me? He said, Pam, remember when you organized a hopscotch tournament? I kid you.
That is so good.
Neighborhood, door to door.
Yeah.
Who's signing up? Nobody gave me permission to do this.
Wow.
Mother, I told my mother, I need this many colors of chalk. How you had your age group? I'm like 9. Who is
Wow.
whose kid is this, right? Mom, I need prizes. Can you go to the store?
Wow. Oh man,
Because
that's
now
good.
we're gonna all know each other because we're gonna play together all summer. She's building community, creating a culture of friendship in the community without anybody's permission. She's 9 years old. The Lord was like, I've been doing this.
Exactly. Wow.
Appreciate your library and your
podcast. That's it.
Yeah, I've been working on you for a long time. Before I created you, I knew you. And so the things we can do to start chiseling out is to look at ways where God has already been at work.
Wow.
And I love those aha moments like, oh my God, that is me.
Correct. I've been missing it the whole time.
Yeah, like, wait a minute. That is me. This is who I have always been. And then we begin to say, okay, who do I admire? Why do I admire them? What is it about this person that resonates with me? It's not about copying. It's about like a frequency or a tune. I could stand next to you and sing, but if you're a better singer, you'll make me a better singer. Does that make sense?
That makes so much sense.
Yes.
Wow.
Who do I admire? What is it about them that resonates that I can feel the vibration of, yeah, something about that person makes me excited. God gives us forerunners.
Right.
And so we look at forerunners to inspire us, we get wisdom from them. That's what I love about this podcast because it's making people of my generation responsible for legacy.
Yes, ma'am.
Responsible for legacy. And so I would begin to ask myself these questions. Who do I admire, living or dead, and why? My hero in college was Harriet Tubman. I didn't even know. I wasn't even saved.
Wow.
I just thought, what crazy courage.
Yeah.
To not be satisfied with your own freedom. And then,
oh, that's good.
And to risk the type of torture I'm sure was planned for her. So for someone else to be free and to do it again and again.
Right.
And so I have to remind, like, what is it, Lord, why did I have that admiration for her? It's like, because you like the idea of being a deliverer.
Woo-wee.
Pam, you
That's
like
good.
it.
That's good.
You like being able to identify bondages and roadblocks and strongholds. You like that. And I put that in you to like it. You know?
Yes, ma'am.
Getting to know yourself, who your personhood, how God made you. We honor our creator when we go with his design.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. And so we don't have to redesign ourselves because we're stepping into the leadership role. We just become more of the dream of God that is you. He had a whole dream of you, a whole design for you. and you become more of who that is. Mm-hmm.
That is such an eye-opening statement. We don't have to redesign who we are when we step into a leadership role.
We
And,
don't.
there are times that I think many of us have heard a saying, or at least the thought that we have a leadership style, but as a leader, it is not our job to be so gung ho on our leadership style that if our leadership style is kind of too abrasive for some, if our
Mm-hmm.
leadership style is too confrontational, too soft, too gentle, then we as the leader need to adjust what our style is to conform, if you will, so that the people that are supposed to be assigned to us or that follow us can get with us, because now we can identify or kind of come down to their
Mm-hmm.
level. Can you
Mm-hmm.
speak to moments and times when, as a leader, we should look to adapt our style and how we show up to be most effective? Or should we approach every situation with, this is my style, this is how it is, God sent me here to affect change, and this is how it happens? How should we
Yeah.
approach those moments?
Yeah. I think we need to be very clear, even before I get into that answer, the
Yes, ma'am.
difference between a personality style and a leadership style.
Whoa, that's good.
Some people have personality issues.
There, see, there go that
Come on.
that auntie
Come
just came right on it,
on.
telling you now. Jeez.
Some people have personality issues. If you're abrasive, if you're
Mm,
harsh, if you are fearful in your communication, we better, because that kind of,
right.
if you have those kind of personality issues, it's going to affect your leadership style, but that's not your leadership style. That's your personality issue. When I
Wow.
look, if you're loud, if you're, or if you're so gentle, and
Mhm.
that's simply your personality. But you can be very gentle, very soft spoken, and still say to someone, this thing that I've assigned you to do, you are
Mhm.
well able, and I will
Yeah.
take no excuses.
Right.
So, your leadership style is about, are you a collaborative leader?
Mhm.
Are you more of a coaching leader? Are you the here's the vision, let them have it leader? Are
Wow,
you
that's
the
good.
hands on frontline leader? Are
Mhm.
you the team building leader? And so it's the techniques that you use when you're
Right.
motivating people, when you're leading people. It's those kinds of techniques that you use. But your personality, that's a matter of you and the Holy Spirit, where God will begin to deal with your personality so that you can reach people. Because
Mhm.
you're not a leader if you, who are you leading? You're not a
Hello.
leader if you can't connect with people. I had a leader at a church, and she was just harsh. And I kept getting complaints about nobody wants to work with this person.
Mm.
And I talked to her about it, and she said, well, I'm from the East Coast and we're just direct and blah, 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 blah. I said, first of all, I know and love a lot of people from the East Coast, and they're not rude. They're actually pretty cool people.
Yeah.
Are they going to
Yeah.
tell you the truth about yourself? Yes, but they're pretty cool people, right?
Correct.
And I said, you can be direct but not hurtful.
Mm.
And a fruit of the spirit is meekness, which is power under control. And so you
Wow.
can't say, well, I just tell it like it is. And if they like it, they like it. But what are your outcomes? If your outcome is no one changed, your outcome is people are jumping off your ship, Captain,
Exactly. Exactly.
they, they're
Wow.
not connected. They're not motivated. You're not developing them. And so I told her, I said, you're failing as a leader because you're so staunch holding to your personality and will
Wow.
not change. I believe sometimes God will put leaders who have some personality issues in situations where they have to adapt.
Mm.
Now, your leadership style could be, I'm a coaching leader. I'm going to develop my people. I'm going to believe in them. I'm going to tweak their technique, but they're on the field. I'm on the sideline.
Yeah.
You could still be a coaching leader, but are you a harsh, screaming, chair throwing coach? Are
That's
you
right.
a my spit in your face? Like, are you that? Oh, we've seen those kind of
Oh,
coaches.
yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Or are you a coach that builds their identity to the point where they can't lose because they believe they're winners?
Mm.
And so be willing to let God deal with your personality, and at the same time understand what style of leadership works well for you.
Hey, I just wanted to stop and tell you thank you so much for tuning in to Mike Toss. I hope you are enjoying this conversation and the content as much as I am. But did you know that the majority of people that watch these podcast episodes are not subscribed? So can you do me a huge favor and go and hit subscribe to be sure that you are fully bought into the Mike Toss fam, and turn on that notification bell so every time Mike Toss has an episode, you are aware of it. This would help us so much to just ensure that Mike Toss becomes everything that it's supposed to be and reaches every audience it's supposed to. Thank you so much for your love and your support and making sure that Mike Toss can reach its full potential. Let's get back. Wow,
That's a lot, I know.
but that is so good. I have
Yeah.
never considered that thought in that drawing that dividing line between one's personality and leadership style, and how those two things are different, and
Yes.
in some ways how one should inform the other by
Yes.
leading of the Holy Spirit. Wow,
Yes.
that's really good. Now,
Yes.
of course, we are all, I think, to some degree, to some level, growing and learning in our leadership journey. But you're a leadership coach, and you do
Yeah.
this clearly, not just for individuals, but for whole companies and executives. These are the type of conversations that you have daily. If we're having a young leader that is coming into what the Lord has given them, and Pastor Pam, they come to you and say, "Hey, I feel like I have this great vision that the Lord has given me." Maybe we can role play some real time coaching. What would you
Absolutely.
say to this young leader that says, "I have this great vision, I just don't know how to lead it"? What are maybe
Oh,
2 or 3 things that you'd say to this person?
I love this question because I had this conversation with someone this morning.
Wow.
She was
Wow.
like, I have this huge thing and I don't know how to lead it. And I said, the first thing you want to do is get as crystal clear as you can.
Yeah.
Because a leader's secret weapon is vision. And so you have to have the clearest vision possible. So think through everything God has said, everything you see,
Mm.
and as much detail as you can. What are you doing? Who is it impacting? How is that impact seen? How does that benefit the world?
Yeah.
Answer these questions in as much detail as you can. Now you've got some fuel to now begin to have those conversations with others.
Hmm.
If they can catch the vision, you can lead them.
Wow.
She was asking, how do I build a team and lead a team of people around what I'm called to do? And I said, it's got to be vision. If they come to you because they just love you, still give them vision.
Right.
If they come to you because they want to marry you, give them vision. whatever the reason. I was talking to a group at a church. I said, they may come because it's close to their house. Give them vision. They may come because they
Right.
love pastor. Give them vision. They may come because they love the worship. Give them vision.
Mm.
Because that's going to be the glue that holds everybody together. And in the course of them being held together, they may discover, hey, I really love this person. I really like this person.
Yeah.
But that's got to be vision. And the thing is, you only get that language and that passion and that believability
Mm.
if you've taken the time to really think through, this is what I'm called to do. Once you've got that, then you're looking for, who do I have around me that can share my passion?
Mm.
And look at how Jesus built a team of people that he was able to lead.
Yeah.
I always say leadership is a two-sided coin. Number one is what you're getting done.
Mm.
The other half of the coin is who you're building in the process.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
So people should say yes to your vision for two reasons. Number one, they believe in it, they want to get it done.
Mhm.
Number two, they believe participating with you as their leader, you're going to make me better.
Yeah.
Do not lead people who don't want to get better.
Mm.
Because the vision of God will grow you. It's going to challenge you. It's going to grow you. It's going to haunt you. It's going to keep you up at night. The vision
Hello.
of God will make, the vision of God will make you better. So don't lead people who are not open to getting better. Because what's going to happen is you'll end up recycling people. As God elevates you and they don't want to go, they got to go. They're either going to
Mhm.
grow or go, right?
Right.
And so if someone says to me, man, I have this vision, I don't know how to lead it. Number one, get clarity.
Yes, ma'am.
Number two, think in terms of possibilities,
Mm.
because a lot of people, limitations are so easy to find.
Right.
So folks can tell you what they don't have, and especially in comparison with what other people have. My team knows we have a phrase, we call it excellence on your level, giving
Mm.
God your best with what you have. And
Wow.
and don't yes, and don't use that excuse of what you don't have. And also I would say to them, be willing to do what you said you'd never do.
Wow. Man, that's good.
Be willing to do, like, oh man, I don't ever want to. Oftentimes the vision of
Wee.
God will cause you to do what you said.
That
I would
exact thing.
I never want to pastor a church. I never want to. I remember my mentor said to me the first time he met me, he said, I don't know where you got off course, but from God's inception, you were to be a pastor's wife. I was like, no way, never, no way.
Try again.
Wrong answer.
Wow.
So, of course, he calls me cracking up laughing.
Mhm.
And he says, there's more than one way to be a pastor's wife. I was
Wow.
like, oh. So, think in terms of possibilities, because we'll
Mhm.
say no with limited information.
Right. Right.
We don't know everything.
Right.
Yeah. We say no with
Wow.
such limited information, but just keep giving God yes.
Mhm.
And then walk out. Don't be afraid to start small.
Mm.
Everybody else, we know those phrases. Think globally, act locally. It's the
Yeah.
same thing with your vision. You have a big picture, but how do you eat an elephant? One, you know?
Yeah.
And do not let a clock and a calendar whoop you.
Oh, that's good.
You
That's really good.
because so often we underestimate the amount of time it takes to develop you, not to fulfill your vision.
Mhm.
Now, God can give you the thing overnight. You can go in, talk to
Mhm.
Pharaoh, a few days later, few plagues, y'all out. But them 40
Exactly.
years,
My
the
goodness.
40
You ain't
years before
lying.
you,
You ain't lying.
good Lord, work in humility, work in patience. I mean, don't underestimate the amount of time and don't undervalue your own development.
Mhm.
Don't skip steps. Let God develop you. Mm-hmm.
Even with that thought, I think and I almost think this is a natural reaction that people have when, especially as you are younger and you're faced with the vision and the thought or the thing that the Lord has shown you, you may not even feel ready for it. And I think
Mm-mm.
sometimes one of the things that stops a younger generation from going after whatever the Lord has given them, or at least starting that process of being pruned
Yeah.
to later walk into whatever the Lord has given them, is just a feeling of, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
This just seems so large. I don't know if I'm ready. So let me just do what I'm doing until I feel like I get ready. What would you say to a generation that struggles and battles with the feeling of, man, this is the vision. I love the vision. I love God. I
Yeah.
want to do what your will is. I just don't feel like I'm ready.
I'm ready. It's so interesting that we think we can measure our own readiness. and that
Oh.
readiness is a feeling.
That's right. That's right.
You're never going to feel ready.
Yeah.
Not to tackle something big,
Hmm.
for a task, one task, you can feel ready. If you're getting up to preach, you feel ready. Yes, I've studied, I'm
Yeah.
full, I'm on fire, I'm ready to go. Introduce me, let me go.
Hmm.
But when it comes to, like, I'm about to launch a whole platform, right?
Right.
And I could, at one point, you feel like at one point, I felt like I was too inexperienced to do it.
Right.
Then it's like, where do you go from being too young to being too old? There's like a 10 days in the middle that you're at the right age to do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I should have done it. So don't let your age, um don't let fear of,
Hmm.
oh God, I'm not ready, cause you to disobey God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't fall into the foolishness of thinking you know yourself better than God knows you.
Hmm.
Because the Lord educates us sometimes without us realizing that we're being educated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love to tell people God will Jason Bourne you. You know those Jason Bourne movies? you just
Woo-wee.
you just wake up, like the first movie, you just wake up, you're like, I can speak French. Like, what?
Exactly.
I can
Right.
fight? How did I learn? When did I learn how to?
Yeah.
And you don't even realize it. You might look back later and go, oh, that's when God taught me how
Mm.
to deal with crazy people, or
Right.
that's when God taught me. And
Hmm.
so you feel like you don't have the wisdom, but you really don't know what He's put in you. The other thing I would say about this idea of feeling ready, I would ask you, what would it take for you to feel ready?
Wow. That's good.
What would it take? What do you think you need?
Hmm.
You think you need money, the right people, the right, like, what do you think? And
Mm.
what would it take for you to feel ready? And sometimes we don't want to step into a void. We're
Yeah.
afraid of being embarrassed. We don't want to step into a void. I've never seen so many people of faith try to avoid walking by faith. I've been one of them.
Yeah. Wow. That is crazy.
Let me tell you, here's a humbling confession. The Lord had told me to host this Pam Ross experience.
Hmm.
We're going to train through Get Ready to Fly,
Yeah.
very workshoppy, and people are going to be ready for their next promotion. And when I tell you, I did not want to do it.
Mm.
Khalil, I was crying,
Lord.
real tears, crying while I'm booking my caterer, like crying while I'm getting the work done, and I'm crying,
Yeah.
just whining,
Mm.
upset. And I had all of the reasons why I wasn't ready. I was
Wow.
like, well, I don't have the resources. Well, my team is small and I don't have the people. Like, I had all of these reasons.
Hmm.
And I was getting ready to get in bed one evening and I said, Jesus, I love you. Like, I'm doing all of this. Finally, in his mercy, he says, Pam, didn't I tell you I was going to give you a training center? I said,
Mm.
yes. He said, why would I give you a training center if you don't want to host trainings?
Oh man.
Humbling truth, humbling truth.
Yeah.
But here's the wisdom for me. He said, I'm leading you to create a need so that I can fill it.
Mm.
Did I not say I would supply all your need?
Right.
I was like, oh, like,
Yeah. Yeah. That makes so much sense.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay, yeah. And so sometimes we feel like we're not ready. My question would be, what would it take for you to feel ready?
Mm.
Because
Hmm.
sometimes we're like that, man, we'll lay by that pool for 38 years talking about what you don't have.
Right. Mm.
And he's looking in the face of the Savior. I don't have anybody. Hmm.
Man. And it's right
Think about
there.
who he's talking to as he's saying, I don't have anybody help me.
Exactly.
Hmm. Yeah.
That is so good. First of all, this whole conversation has just been um, encouragement after encouragement, correction, realignment to really help us realign our thoughts on leadership and our preparedness and readiness to walk into whatever the
Mm-hmm.
Lord has for us, which has just been so amazing. The notes that I have is definitely a lot of things that I'll be going back and asking the Lord, what about my personality, Father?
Yeah.
What about this season, Father? What's next, Father? Just help me see myself the way that you see me, that I can
Yes.
walk into what you have for me to walk into with
Mm-hmm.
confidence. Pastor
Yes.
Pam, we ask every person that comes on this podcast the same question. If you were sitting in our seat, just starting out, what is
Yeah.
something that you wish someone had told you when you were sitting in
Wow.
our seat and just starting out?
You know what comes to my heart immediately? 3 words.
Mhm.
You've got time.
Mm, wow.
You've got time.
Wow.
Because so often
Mm,
we feel like if God's going to do it, it has to happen now. Time is probably the greatest test of our faith. We assume, well, if God was going to do it, he would have. If you had come, my brother wouldn't have died. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like it. So here, take my maiden and
Mhm.
have a son with her. You've
Right.
you've got time. Don't skip your steps. I would
Mm,
say, man, look for the right mentors.
yeah.
Don't be afraid to learn from others. Um, be willing to serve for wisdom.
Yeah.
Mhm. Be willing to serve for wisdom, and do not let the devil punk you about when you get things done. Because if success, here's our definition of success. Success is becoming God's original thought of you.
Mm,
Once you
mm,
partner with God and agree to follow him, he said to Peter, follow me and I'll make you.
yeah. Yeah.
Once you partner with him and you agree to follow him, you've already on the road of success.
Yes, ma'am.
You're already on the road to success. You've got time. God's making you build your vision and just stick with him. He's got you. Mhm.
Mm.
Trust the Lord's process.
God's original thought for me
Thought of
is
you.
of me is
Yes.
success. God's original
Yes.
thought of me is success. And I think
Yes.
what is sobering in that, my pastor, he often says, if the Lord did not allow me to have a certain thing, that must mean that it is God's best for me not to have it.
That's right.
And if that is the case, then God's original thought of me is success can look many different ways outside of how I'm expecting it to look.
Yes.
If I am not the millionaire, but I'm in God's original thought of me, I'm whole, I'm stable, finances good, family good, no sickness. I may not have the Bentley, but my good Tesla runs fine, or whatever
Come
the
on.
case is, my good
Come
Ford
on.
runs fine. I'm in God's original thought of me, and that is success. See,
Yes.
this is exactly what I told y'all talking to the auntie. Well, after all of that, I just feel like I can actually run on.
Come on, man.
I'm telling you, I can actually just continue outside of the things that we're all working on, the things that we're striving in, the things that we're trying to build. These small adjustments have 100% helped me personally. I can't speak for anybody else, but I hope it has. It's helped me personally have small checks in my spirit of pray about that, check on that, think about this, consider this. And that's really what the whole of this podcast is, because like you, like me, those of you that are watching, we're all trying to go after the thing that the Lord has for us. And it's conversations like these,
Yeah.
small wisdom that we can glean from someone that is clearly walked this out and has all of the scars, the stories, the
Oh,
scripture,
yes.
the testimony to prove it. Pastor Pam, I thank you so much for being on. Thank you so much for just sharing some wisdom. Please, how can we, because clearly this type of conversation is things that we need to keep up with often. How can we keep up with you just so that we can continue to receive from the wisdom that you are?
Oh, what a great question. Okay, so you can go to pamross.com.
Mhm.
I don't do a lot of email writing, but I
Yeah.
have an email list where I just send out encouragement just like this once a month.
Mm.
And it also informs people of what's coming up on my podcast, what's coming up as far as coaching opportunities.
Yeah.
I love these executive coaching groups. They are from everywhere, from politics to medicine to education, and of course, folks that work and serve in church full time.
Yeah.
And I love it, and they can feel that I love it.
For sure. For sure.
They can feel that I love it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, go to pamross.com, join that, and then just hang out on Instagram with me. That's always
Mhm.
fun. And you can get everything you need at the website, the books, the classes, the downloads, all that stuff is available there. Thank you. This has been wonderful. What a brilliant idea.
I appreciate that. And thank you so much, Pastor Pam, for coming on and just encouraging me and so many others that are going to watch this. Y'all go follow my Auntie Pam as she becomes your Auntie Pam on Instagram. That is PR The Builder, Dr. Pam Ross, Pastor Pam Ross, the Culturalist Pam Ross. I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. And thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Comment, let us know what has blessed you, and we'll see you next week. Peace.